Hello and welcome to I Pâté the Fool, a proud member of the Duff Network, where each week we get gourmet with Wildbow's most scrumptious work. I'm Reuben Morehouse.
I'm Elliot Diebold.
Yo, it's your girl Jenny, because that's what they wrote on the script.
And also Malia.
I did
You
not
didn't write your
that.
own intro, so I thought I'd write a cool one for you.
Oh, okay, I mean it was pretty sweet. I'm sorry I messed it up by breaking the wall there, but Malia, woo! Yes.
Yes, also me.
Malia, very glad to have you, Malia. Jenny, it's, I guess.
You know,
it's how you
I'm
feel.
there. I'm here. So,
But I guess we should introduce what pâté is, if anyone doesn't know. Pâté is
it's a type of food.
yes.
But I think I've only had it once, made of meat. It's like I probably should have looked at a better definition for this.
No,
I
it's
think
fine.
none
We're
of
done.
us
The joke
know.
is dead.
I think it's
Like,
made
if
of
anyone
liver,
knows.
isn't it? Isn't
Yeah,
it made
I
out of
feel
like
it's
goose
bird
liver spread.
liver.
Goose liver
Thank you,
spread.
Ellen Path.
Yeah.
And that's like, yeah, okay. So that's like, I don't feel right eating that.
No, yeah,
They
it's pretty.
force feed geese. But if there's an ethical pate, I'm totally down. And
Well,
if
that's
I
what
was
we're here
in
to
this-
talk about today.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Not only
all
is
ethical.
pâté goose liver spread, but it's also a story that Wildbow has written. A little bit of a side story, I suppose. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about each new episode of Pâté as it comes out, starting with the first episode to in this one. So
It's pretty
Um,
sweet.
yeah,
Not really. 'cause it's
Pâté.
sweet.
Sorry, the food or the story.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I hope that pate's not sweet. Actually, the story. Yes, if you have sweet pate, I guess tell us about it because sounds like a first. But
Just pour some sugar on top of other pâté. then
that
it
sounds
is-
disgusting.
Mm.
That I feel like that would just be. Feel like Grimsey would be disappointed with that. I'm just gonna be honest.
But yeah, so Wildbow wrote this chapter, I think as a do the right thing prompt. But yeah, so now we're here to talk about it. And I just want to be clear, this isn't a review of Pâté. Our primary focus is to just be informational. We hope we can accurately describe this particular chapter and what it has to offer, and what people may wish to avoid or know in advance. And if you don't get that hilarious reference I just made, you've got to go read Pâté.
Yeah,
please.
worth also noting that if you're listening to this teaser on our regular feeds, the full information and menu are available for paying customers. So you have to head to the Patreon and become a patron for that. Now on with the show.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll be talking about Pâté. Pale spoilers, ahoy, potentially, but we probably won't go into any Pact spoilers
Mhm.
because we don't want to spoil the two of y'all on Pact. And the fact that Grimsey is a main character in the second half of Pact. Whoa.
I know.
Imagine, though, am I right?
Imagine that. I know. I guess we should have thought this through before, bringing Malia on, but I mean, it was just too exciting. I couldn't help it. He's actually the protagonist, the rest of it. So sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a real mood shift,
Totally. Switch things up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're following our two favorite protagonists, Cheryl and Alphonse, as they make their way through an interesting new crossroads town.
Small note. I told my mom that there was a short story that Wildbow wrote that was all about her, and she got really excited. And then I clarified that it was not all about her, but same name. So
Same name. That's the first
She was
thing I
excited.
thought when I started reading it. I was like,
Yep.
definitely our mom. Yeah.
No, I love how quickly we are set up to really like Cheryl, but hate Alphonse.
It's like, man.
Yeah, Cheryl doesn't actually do anything particularly cool or great at the start. It's just Alphonse is immediately acting like a spoiled prick, and Cheryl hates him. So you're just immediately like, okay, cool. I like Cheryl and I hate Alphonse. Got it. He just opens this story swatting at fairies and talking about his amazing private school. And yeah, Cheryl doesn't have to do anything but hate him for us to immediately like her.
Yeah, just major jerk face energy there.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, after the Easton stuff, like this was a lot. I was like, oh, so much like douchey man energy.
Yeah.
Too much. That's too much.
Wildbow's really good at characterizing this type of person with just the way they talk and stuff. It's really good.
Well, because didn't Y also mention like these small private schools at like crossroads and places? Like this is absolutely a thing in this world, and they all make dickheads like this.
They all make dickheads. That's unfortunate.
The very first line in this chapter, though, I mean, the very first thing that happens is that he attempts to squish a fairy, which is like, I kind of get that because fairy are scary. It rhymes, so it must be true. But like magical, they're effectively this fae that he's squishing is effectively a magical butterfly, right? And he just kind of swats at it, and it's like immediately setting him up as one, a tool, but two, no respect for like this area and nature, which obviously
like what kind of
proves
monster
true.
do you have to be to squish a magic butterfly?
Yeah.
Like you like they're probably good for pollinating magical flowers and they're pretty. Like just is major douche energy.
And they're like sentient, right? They're like little really dumb fairies.
Little really dumb.
Yeah.
Really
Don't
dumb
they
little
like
people.
hive mind? I feel like we remember. I feel like
that
we
does ring a bell.
Yeah, I think that was when there was that little witch hunter kid who
What's
was
his name?
kidnapped by a bunch of them. But yeah, I mean, like the other thing this did for me was like, because I still very much like you've got like fairies versus goblin, and even though this is like the other kind of fairy, it's all that domain. So when he was like, "Oh, I hate fairy," I was like, "Oh, so maybe he's like goblin related," which was like this really funny setup to when we meet Grimsy, who is goblin related, and Alphonse just couldn't handle that either. Like he just doesn't like anything. He's just this like spoilt guy. Like I loved how Grimsy was constantly calling him like the baby palette and stuff.
Yeah, that was really funny.
That was so good.
Like
so
your
good.
poor little gentle, your weak stomach. So good. Yes.
Alphonse introduces himself as a trifold gardener, which do we know? Is that a thing that we know what it means?
Did someone say tripod gardener, guys?
That's a
That'd be more interesting.
So yeah, if you want more, as Reuben mentioned, head on over to patreon.com/doofmedia and hear the whole 5-star episode.